this is Delta for Paw Productions. Today I'm basically going to do another little talk video here, and going to talk about this show that was just out, Doomsday Preppers, and some other stuff. It seems to be a really hot topic right now on the web, so I figured give a little talk about it. Basically, those of us seen the show, and have been reading a lot of the websites and forums and blogs across the web. See how it's kind of caused up a stir, a lot of Monday morning, couch quarterbacking from a lot of people, a lot of negative stuff, a lot of positive stuff, but I figured I'd just, go over some things that kind of like stuck out to me and kind of like my take on it. Some may take offense to my opinion, some may not, but hey, that's my opinion, right? First off, most of us, I think, can be in agreement that the show didn't actually do anything special for the, the survivalist movement. The very first show they did last year wasn't too bad. I mean, there were some issues there too, but this one, it seemed like the first segment they put out, just like it kind of blew me away on some of the craziness I saw. I know some of it's, basically, Nat Geo trying to make good TV and doing spread an agenda, but we all should know that, which goes back to the people that were on the show. When you get out there and you put yourself in the limelight, for lack of better terms, you're basically representing the community as a whole, or the movement as a whole. Somebody's going to try and say, oh, no, they're not. I'm like, well, you are. It's just like, what gave the, survivalist movement the big bad, view, public view back in like the early 90s. It's like you get one or two people that they labeled, big bad malicious survivalist, and what happened? It's like right now, it's like, oh, look, a bunch of crazy kooks on TV, a bunch of inbred, backwards hoarding types, which seems to be what a lot of people are saying right now. When you put yourself out there, you have to hold yourself to a higher standard, or else you're gonna, first off, not only do you come off like a retard, but you end up making everybody else look bad. And like I said, I don't think the show is doing the movement any favors at all. And it's a shame that there's some people that, wanted to have their couple minutes of fame and threw everything like that out the window, shows, where their minds were at the time. I mean, look right now, you have, I'm going to use some people's names here, but, Desardi and stuff, it's like he's on there. It's like, no offense, but, I mean, some of his stuff was laughable, and, his attitude sucked, and he goes on the show, and then mysteriously after the show's aired and everybody's ridiculing how bad the show is, he pretty much almost gets, Baker acted, or at least that's what they call it down here, for running his mouth to a doctor in the wrong way. I mean, come on, all of us were telling everybody, not all of us, but a lot of us, we're telling everybody, hey, everybody laughs about the word OPSEC, but guess what, it doesn't mean just, hey, I'm not going to show my neighbor, my 35 buckets of rice and my, six assault rifles and stuff like that, and all the stuff that the government's got on a big nasty list that they're supposed to watch for. That's not what it's about. You're at your doctor's and you're joking around going, oh yeah, if you're going to put tubes down my throat, I might as well just give up and go run through the hood with a white sheet and har, because it's about the same as putting a bullet in my mouth, or whatever it is he told the guy. It's like, in these days and times, people are told to look out for people that say stuff like that. And, there's probably more to it about how the guy, probably said more than that, and that's not letting it on, But there's people that are coming to his defense. I mean, I've seen his things on his videos. Oh, the government's taking his guns. They can't do that. Oh, well, guess what, people? I mean, there's been people like me and some others, with Paw Productions and S&P and stuff like that, have been telling people for years. It's like, dude, don't don't open your skull cave to the wrong people. It'll come back and bite you in the butt. for lack of better terms. And this guy ran his mouth, and it came back to him. We shouldn't be jumping to his defense because he's, for lack of better terms, was an idiot about it. And then you go down to the other people on the show. Megan. I'm gonna, people might get mad at me for bringing her up, but I mean, no offense, but Nat Geo did not do any favors to you, your cause, anything. I mean, if anything, it made you look like a crazy, tripped out crackhead stripper or something. It's like, I understand that you're preparing. And I can tell from what little they showed on Nat Geo that you really aren't, haven't been at this that long. It's plain as day, no matter how no matter how you want to cut it. But I look at on all the forums, and the people, you got two camps: the people that are like, oh, good job, you're the female, blah blah blah, and I see that people that are on the opposite side are like, look, she's a crazy-eyed kook. Again, I know for sensationalism reasons that Nat Geo did what they did. I've read where she's been on a couple different boards and trying to saying that she regretted doing the show now, and that's fine. It's like, well, it didn't turn out what you wanted to, or how it turned out wasn't what you expected, or the fallout from it, wasn't what you expected, but again, like I said, it's like when you put yourself in that limelight and or in the spotlight, you're gonna come under that that magnifying glass and stuff like that. People are gonna nitpick and put anything they can to try to sit there and not only discredit you, but to show that you're not perfect and honest. That's why when you go on a show like that, or even videos and stupid stuff like YouTube, like what I'm doing right now, it's like you gotta almost be perfect. We at Paul catch a lot of flack, and from day one. I mean, we've had people boo-hoo about our videos from day one, about, oh, look, your camera, before we had a tripod, it's like, listen, we got a camera, let's kind of throw something together. Oh, your camera shakes too much. Oh, your camera guy says and oh yeah, and stutters or does something. It's like all these little tiny things. Your cat meowed in the background. It's like, so what? My cat meowed in the background. I'm sorry I don't have a studio, and I'm sorry I didn't spend $4,000 on a camera and microphone setup. I'm sorry I don't have adverts all over my channel to try to make money off of people's fear of wanting to become prepared the last couple of years. But when you're out there, you're gonna have all that. And I don't want to go too much into what I saw with Megan, but I mean, the one biggest thing I saw, I could care less about, her, mannerisms and how she looks and how she talks and stuff like that, because we're all individuals, we're all different. But I mean, bugging out of Houston with the equipment that they showed and how she had it put together was ridiculous. I mean, the pack alone, it's like, was it she's underneath the one overpass and she's like, oh, you could tell she's winded. She's, talking about she didn't expect it long. Meanwhile, the backpack looks like, an 8-year-old put it together for the first time, and there's like equipment hanging off of it in all different directions. And it just looked horrible, and it made her look horrible, and made a lot of other people look horrible for on it. It's like, you gotta. In other words, what I'm trying to get at without, from being nice, and I guess that's a problem, is trying to be nice, is, when you try to do something that you haven't done, or you try to come off like you know something, and then you end up basically showing everybody in front that you don't, you just come off, like I said before, you come off looking like a donkey. I don't want to get all cussing or anything, but, that's just